See, I have decided to give advice on each of the most likely scenarios for divorce, so you can look back at this as a sort of guide for when marriage challenges get in the way. The primary reason for divorce in America is money. I believe the solution to financial stress is to never be poor. So then how does one not be poor, you might ask? Well, if you're talking about legal routes, you are shit out of luck, because it is impossible. So my advice would be to take the somewhat immoral approach of being a capitalist entrepreneur. However, this is just a fancy name for a drug dealer. I met a man in jail who at the young age of 23 was pulling in over $400,000 a year in cash profit before he was arrested. The trick is to be like him in the money sense, but not like him in the getting caught sense. My advice would be to prioritize marijuana sales only, and only sell to convicted felons as well as illegal aliens. Both of these groups understand the golden rule of life, which is that snitches get stitches. The second most common area of divorce is infidelity and extramarital affairs. See, if I ever made the mistake of having a wife, I would encourage her to have several husbands so that she doesn't have to bother me often. My logic here is the same way I look at ice cream shops. Imagine you are an ice cream enthusiast like myself, and you can only go to Baskin Robbins for the rest of your life. While good at first, after a while you will start missing Dairy Queen, and this will certainly affect your will to live, as it would for me. The point is that both women and men should be like a Redbox movie stand, and that you could rent to anyone as long as the DVD is returned in the end. The next area of tension in marriage comes from the pressure of either having children or raising children. As you already know, I'm the only person who supports post-birth termination of a baby. Some conservatives call this murder. However, I would say it's a potato-potato situation. The problem is that such a procedure is only available in liberal parts of America, such as California and all of Canada, thus making you commit a federal crime if you were to travel to one of these places for the procedure. As much as I hate to admit it, spending 20 to life in a federal prison is slightly, and I mean slightly, worse than having children. So an alternative option is for you to drop your child in a way that ensures the G-forces to the head will cause immediate death. However, you have to be careful with this option, as I myself was dropped from a height of 3.5 feet at birth. This did not kill me, sadly, but instead made me autistic, which has been a burden on everyone I have met in my life. Focus on a drop of 6 feet or higher directly to the baby's head. You can only do this once, as multiple fracture points will look suspicious during the autopsy. Funny story, by the way. My mom thought for 23 years that was her fault for dropping me, when in fact it was actually my intention. See, even straight out of the vagina, I said this life ain't worth living, and tried to thrill myself to freedom. However, as I said before, this sadly did not work. The fourth area of tension in marriage is domestic violence, accounting for around 15% of divorces. My answer is to look to the great Ray Rice for guidance in this matter. See, Ray Rice is a beloved NFL player who bitch-smacked his wife unconsciously in a casino elevator back in 2014. He has now been married with her for 9 years, and they have 2 kids. What I learned from this incident is that instead of looking at domestic violence as the issue, we should start looking at it as the cure. See, the average NFL player has an 80% divorce rate, but Mr. Rice has a 0% divorce rate, showing that he knows something that other players do not. The rhyme I came up with to remember this trick is that a few slaps a day keeps the divorce courts away.